Welcome to She Said That Out Loud, a place where we have inspiring, simple dialogue of our thoughts and ideas about concerns we face today. Up next, a conversation with Damion Greaves. Hello, we are back again, and today I have a special guest. His name is Damion. We're talking about things that's going on in the world, what's happening now. Go on and tell them about yourself.
Well, my name is Damion Greaves. I am an immigrant from Trinidad and Tobago when I was younger. I'm educated in the United States in Northeast Ohio. Most recently, my master's from Cleveland State University in Public Administration. As of now, I'm working with the University of Nevada in the Human Resources Department there. Um, hoping one day to also continue to teach young kids to develop their minds to think independently.
And so, what do you think we have to do in order to get people to think independently? Because I know you're a history major.
Well, one thing about history that's great is written, and it is factual. Um, it doesn't change. Many people, even from the days of Aristotle, said that history is written by the victors, which is sometimes true. But in this day and age, we're noticing we're digging deeper more into our history to find what is actually the factual thing that needs to be done, and we need to erode past teachings or past misconceptions of history so we can learn what the true nature of history is being done. And it's more evident in this day and age right now with the current administration that we have and what's going on in our public lives that we need to know the factual information and not the misconception what's being said. Good example. I know right now there's a process in the world of whitewashing, or sorry, not whitewashing, correcting or trying to get the misinformation of the Civil War, that slavery was not such a bad thing, or it was a war on states' rights for the Confederacy. That's why we fought the Civil War. When in actuality, the Civil War was fought because of the fact that the Southern wealthy landowners were not happy with Lincoln, a devoted abolitionist, gaining the presidency in their fear of them losing slaves of his upcoming policies. Even though he didn't make any policies, even though he even said that he will continue slavery to preserve the Union, they had a greater fear that he would make those changes with a strong Northern representation within Congress and the government.
Hmm.
So if everyone said that, slavery, Civil War wasn't fought against slavery, wasn't fought for slavery, it's wrong. It was fought in slavery, but it had other innuendos too that we need to learn about those. So that's what I meant by we need to actually learn the real factual of facts of history.
Do you think that slavery still exists today?
Oh yes, Bob Marley said, "Don't give rid yourself of mental slavery. No one but ourselves can reach our minds." Yes, mental slavery is still evident today. Look at our poor inner cities. Look at our um, um,
Look at our jobs.
jobs.
Look at the
Exactly.
pay,
The
and
pay.
people will sacrifice. Give
Yes.
somebody $60,000 a year, and they will. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Or even that, are people working 8 hours, $8 an hour for a job, and they can't even work a full 40-hour week and still can afford their rent,
Right.
and they don't think any better. Yes. Or let me expand on that. America, in my household, in my community, especially immigrants coming from other nations, third world nations, if you like to call them, come to America. The most valuable thing in America is education. Education is free. From kindergarten to 12th grade, education is free for you.
Hmm.
And there are a lot of natural born Americans, minorities, who do not even complete that free education because of their mental slavery, thinking that they cannot do any better, or they cannot do any work with that education. They'd rather say, I will go on the street and sell this illegal product, make $1,000 a night, and I could feed my family, live in the same neighborhood. But it comes at a risk of you going to jail or dying. No one has no Not many people has evolved to fact saying like, you know what? Let me finish school and then try to go to college. Another aspect of this mental slavery. Younger kids are being taught that, if you go to school, you don't have the money, you have to incur this debt and you'll kill you for that debt. They're kind of correct because you incur that student debt, but however, how else would you get that other formal education? You go to the military, but there's no guarantee you can stay there 4 years to finish the military training. Able to have that physical ability to run fast, catch a ball, hit a ball, but that is a very few. Why not open yourself to get that debt so you get a degree, piece of paper, to get a higher job that pays more money so you could then pay for that debt? You know,
Hmm.
all that mental slavery it comes from a higher echelon class of people who want to maintain power, who want to say, look, I don't want this is free. I want no one to get the concept of this education being free, and you could get yourself out of financial despair through this education because I want to still for my family, my kids. I don't want to become a lot of people getting it, so they become like me. I want to keep those who are lower still stay in that lower caste system.
Hmm.
Um,
And I think sometimes it seems like that thought process is passed on from generation to generation. So it's like if you've grown up in a household that um, thought that education wasn't valuable, well, now this is the product. Someone who
Correct.
doesn't value education and they're not even completing high school because they don't
Right.
see the value in it. And it's like passed down. And it's like, how does someone, how do you reprogram yourself? I guess educate yourself, read books.
No, I, I think it's your sphere of influence. So a good example. I grew up in East Cleveland. East Cleveland is a majority black city in Northeast Ohio. It is. I went to school that was predominantly black, like 98% black. This is the only black school that had a swim team.
Mm.
Now the old stereotype black people can't swim. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I have a group of brothers and sisters that could outswim sometimes even Matt Biondi. But anyway, I digress. Um, but we these my brothers and sisters, we may not have come from a complete home. We may have a mother and father in the home. We might just have a mother, or might just have a father. But we had this great spirit influencer in our coach. Our coach wasn't around us for just the swim season, then he went away and come back next swim season. He was there with us for the whole entire year. Um, during swim season, he was our coach. He made us swim. He was like, "Hey, you know how to swim. You swim well competitively. Let me show you how to become a lifeguard." He made us take an American Red Cross lifeguarding. I was 14, 15 years old, making $15, $16 an hour
Mm. Wow.
doing lifeguard. When
Mm.
compared back in the day, back then, you know who were lifeguards? Were younger white kids
Mm-hmm.
making that money. So I was doing that. Um, Also, he took us around colleges. Like we went to so many colleges that we were able to see beyond just our sphere of East Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Now, out of 10 of my brothers and sisters that made that team, do you know 9 went on to obtain a college degree?
Oh, really?
Yes. So that's a 90% successful rate. So that's a sphere of influence. Just think if that happens to our brothers and sisters who were on football teams.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all the youth. Look at all of the talented people on football in the inner city. That what they do is they see the talent and they ship them out to these private schools so they can become great there. Well, if you retain them there, and if that coach stick with them for the whole entire year, they will be great. They will people will see what's being done, and that sphere of influence will change, and it will change your mindset, change your thought. My group of brothers and sisters changed my sphere and thought, as well as my family, in supporting me to go school, college. I've had I had one of my very close friends. We went to undergrad together. We went to the same graduate school. He went off to Texas to become a PhD, and then returned back to Cleveland to become our transit authority CEO. But he always pushed me and others to continue with your degree. Now he's pushing younger kids to do it. The same way I'm doing with me. pushing young kids to do the same thing. But it has to be a spirit influence in your family to get you out of that mindset. Now, if your spirit influence is drug dealers or people say, man, don't go to school, school is whack and stuff like that, that's what you'll end up doing until you get older and notice, whoa, half of them is gone, jail, dead. Maybe I need to do something different.
Hmm. That is so true. And I do think that, I agree with what you're saying about the sphere of influence because you never know who's been placed in your life that you can draw from. We had a track coach. He wasn't
Mhm.
just our track coach, it was like he was like a father figure too. You know what I
Right.
mean? He picked us up he may take us home from track meets or whatever, or he's watching all of us, I can tell some stories that we have some funny stories of him
Oh,
being like the father figure role when we're out traveling for track meets and stuff like that. So, and he's always been positive. So you're right. The people that you hang around with, it may not be your mother or father or your aunt. It could be someone else on the outside that's influencing you in a positive way.
right. And family also is a big thing. My family, it wasn't, so it was my sister and I, for my mother. It was never, she never said when you're going to college, or no, sorry, not if you're going to college, is when you get to college. Um, Funny story, when I was a junior, I had a great GPA in high school that colleges were already recruiting me to come to
Mm,
school.
wow.
And I chose, in Northeast Ohio, I chose FMAU, I chose UCLA, University of Hawaii, Miami University. My mother was like, these are all faraway schools. When will you come home? Never. Because I'm trying to get some fun and sun. She went and she talked to my coach, my same swim coach, and he said, "Wait till spring. I will take him to Hiram College." Springtime in Northeast Ohio, the snow is melting. I'm an 18-year-old boy. Girls wearing shorter skirts, and he took me to Hiram College. Hiram College is a very prestigious school in Ohio. We call it the Harvard of Ohio.
Mm.
Um, it is very hard to get into,
Oh, really?
and is very, very, very white, and is very good scholastically. He took me there because they sent me information for it, and this it was his alma mater as well. And he took me there, and I'm seeing the girls. I'm seeing the girls on the same floor as the boys. I'm like, okay. He took me down to the pool, looked kind of shoddy, and he made me take a test, and I did the test so well. And he said, "You need to come to this school. You will get education here." I respect him so much. I put in consideration. Say, you know what? Fine. I'm going to go to Hiram. I went to Hiram. Everything was great until that first snowfall, and I called him to curse him out. But he was correct. Hiram gave me a great education. It expanded my mind. I met professors there that made me think,
Mm.
not just to regurgitate information, but to actually think about the information being given and give my own personal analysis on it. That's what I'm thinking. Said about you have to be your own independent thinker, and they taught me how to do that. Um, but it was great because what I like about it that spirit influence right there. He introduced me to other spirit influences that will continue me on to my next step, and
Mhm.
that one needs to be. We need to recognize as people, there's always somebody else out there greater than you that can help you. May not be monetarily, may not give you a piece of advice, but give you show an example or to provide you to your next stepping stone to your career, to your life, or to your dreams.
That is so true. And I think that for those people who think that they can do it alone,
Yeah.
they're sadly mistaken.
Oh, yeah. Oh yes.
You need to operate as a community in order to get something done. It can't just be one person rallying or one person trying. No, it has to be a community effort.
Oh yeah. And but I do believe in also at the same time having a I like a figurehead. Like when I was at FDIC, it was one of my peers. He was a former Army. Um, Jeff was Southern. Jeff was, the good old boy and so forth. But Jeff had the ability to listen to others and their thoughts, and to see how he compared with his, and to change his mind on some things once they gave him credible solution. I told him, anytime you're ready to run for office or anything, let me know, and I will help you with your campaign.
Oh, wow.
Meaning because I believe so much in what his thoughts are, what he want to do for the fellow good. But at the same time, he realized that if some things about him is not great or perfect, that I can steer him away from or around, that I can work on the background and make him great, and with him being the figurehead, make the community even better.
Wow.
And that's how it's been my thoughts with things. Like I've never been the kind of person to be. I never the kind of person to say, "Hey, I'm the figurehead. I want to be the point." No, I don't want to do that. I always want to work on the background to make things better for everybody else. And we need to have that. We need to have people want to stay away from the attention and the prestige to work behind the scenes to make that person be able to do things and they be done.
And you know what? I've always been like a background person.
Hmm.
Even in singing in the choir, I'd rather harmonize with you than be the lead, lead the solo. Always behind the scenes trying to do things. And now, like even with doing this She Said That Out Loud show, I'm in the front forefront. And it makes me question like, I really want to be in the forefront? Because I'd rather be behind the scenes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but then at the same time, but you recognize a void that you need to step up and do it. Like you can be behind the scenes, but still want to step up and fill in that void, and that's fine because you recognize a void there. But but then at the same time, you're more able to work with those behind the scenes to make you better too as well because you
Mhm.
recognize their role and their contributions.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, what do you think about this coronavirus, Damien? What do you
Oh
think that this has changed the world? I mean, the world has been shut down
yes.
because of this. This has never happened before.
No, we won't
To
say it
this
never happened.
extreme,
It's happened before.
to this
It's
extreme with I mean, I know we had the Black plague,
right,
stuff like that, but that was a whole different day and time. We weren't even
right,
as advanced.
right. Well, we had the Spanish flu in the 13s and 14s, to which the United States did practice social distancing. What I think about today is extreme. No, it's not extreme. I think, matter of fact, it's not extreme enough,
Mm,
especially for the fact of it being that we do not have a vaccination for COVID. Um, I do understand that business needs to run, people need work, need people to get paid. I totally understand that, but are you willing to get paid or go back to business to get your hair cut, which I'm getting mine done today? But are you willing to do that at the sake of your life? Yeah, you be looking casket sharp, but was it worth it?
So you
um,
mentioned you mentioned the Spanish flu. So give us the background on what happened then. You said they
so
practiced social distancing. I didn't even
yes,
look this up. So
and so in the 19, I might be getting the dates wrong, but around the area, 19 like 1912, 1913, 1914, the United States, most likely in Midwestern, Northeastern United States, which were larger urban settings, experienced massive Spanish flu. There were people who were doctors were taking pregnant women babies who just delivered and separating them from 3 months until they see if they were able to restrain the flu symptoms from the Spanish flu.
oh wow.
There was a massive deaths from it, and it went through for a while until they start. It's like 3 or 4, like 6 months before easing started to come forth for them to do it. Now, mind you, back in the 1913s, 1914s, people lived on top of each other. It was small tenement housing. It wasn't a great sewer system.
Taking
So,
baths together.
right. So, and sometimes not even baths, like 2 weeks without baths.
Yeah, yeah.
So, diseases could be rampant, and that's what helped spread the Spanish flu. But the good things out of the Spanish flu came with better sewer systems for those urban cities, spacious housing for them. It wasn't like 10 people living in a two-room house or apartment. Those things, or the city start instituting public health policies to help erode the possibility of spreading the disease after a long-term quarantine from people who live in those cities. Now, it didn't affect so much in the South because people live very spaciously in the South. You could. The joke was back then you could walk out your house and don't see a neighbor for the next 2 or 3 days.
Mm,
Um, so it didn't spread that much there as in the most urban dwellings in the Midwest and the Northeast of the United States. So with COVID today, I think yes, I think I like the fact that places were shut down. Um, I think it shows a importance that we have for essential workers that we like to pay $8, $7 an hour for, that they do need at $15 an hour. We also showed that us as Americans, we are so privileged that we miss our opportunities to go out to eat dinner that someone else provide for us, or to go to a club or something that other people serve us. So I think we need to look at that and think that, no, was that really essential? Did you have to go to McDonald's? Why can't you just pick up groceries and make your meal, excuse me, for yourself to help not that spread? So I'm hoping, like Spanish flu, COVID will give us new health policies for us to go forth, which is being proved today with people doing remote working a lot more. I think that's going to be a continued thing. And even for education institutions to do remote learning, online learning. I think that's going to blow up even more now with these standard 4-year schools.
Oh yes, I think that will definitely blow up. And not only that, from a financial perspective, because now you don't have to worry about this brick and mortar and paying electricity and doing all this. You can have the employee work from home, pay for their internet line, and send the equipment to the house. And I definitely think that there's some positive things that's come out of this coronavirus because it's brought families together. I mean, you have to be in the house. If you didn't know how to communicate, you have to learn how to communicate.
Oh yeah.
Because you're doing your thing, you have your two different schedules. Now you have to sit back.
Well, I like to see how afterwards what the divorce rate is going to be. Because like it's weird because my wife even said that it's like we always communicate, and when I come home we talk and so forth, but we communicate more. Like she likes being outside. I'm sitting outside in the patio more with her. Um, I we talk a little bit more. That we had time to do it. But let's say you're during that time, you talking to your wife, and now you realize I don't know this person.
That's so
No?
true. That's what I mean. So
Like
you're living your own two separate lives, and this
right,
makes you sit down
yes,
and have to communicate and have to listen to the other person's point of view. Where before you probably was blowing it off like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, now you're in the same house. You
yes,
go nowhere. So now
can.
you need to listen to his needs, listen to her needs. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, but I like to see what the divorce rate is going to be to say if it really did help people come together or did it spread apart.
Well, I mean, only the strong survive.
Well, even like with my daughter, with her because she's still in school. No, during the regular school year, she'll come home. She'll spend an hour with us, talk with us, see how the day was, and she's in her room, talking to her friends and so forth. Now it's like she'll come downstairs and she'll spend like 2 hours talking to me, and I'm like, who did he talk to before me? Like,
See, that's a good thing, though. I look at that as
look,
positive.
it
You
is it
know,
is a pos it is possible. It's kind of weird.
it
It's like,
is. And then the cooking, like you were
uh,
talking about, we've been cooking as a family. My son, his fiance, they come over. We cook as a family. My other son, he's making food from scratch, making bread from scratch.
right.
So it does force you to get back to the values of food.
Well, I've brought so much new appliances since this thing. Like I brought an instant pot that my wife could cook in.
Oh,
We brought a KitchenAid mixer so my daughter could do baking.
okay.
What else we did? We did a lot of things. Like we brought more things to put us more together and to do things from scratch, like how you said. Now, granted, my wife works from home. I work from home, so we still might do and go get some things from other places. But we're doing it still together. It's not like, well, Danielle eat at 4 o'clock, I eat at 5, she eats at 6. We're eating together and we're communicating together. So yes, that is. I think that for relationships and family ties, COVID was a great thing.
I do. I agree with that. And I think that because before I know for a fact, my working schedule, working all the hours that I was working, we would end up eating dinner at different times.
Yes.
So it does bring you back together to have that dinner time and talk.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like my wife would say, "Hey, we're hungry at 6. You still at work? Yeah. Well, pick up something to eat on the way home." So I might have McDonald's on Monday, but they have Burger King on that same day.
Right. That
And
is
that,
so true.
but it was a good benefit. My gas, I've been saving up on gas like crazy. Like I haven't put gas in the car for 2 weeks. It is
2 weeks.
beautiful.
I
Yes.
it was almost a month and a half. I didn't have to put gas in,
Yeah, it's
and I
beautiful.
was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't have to put gas a month and a half.
Yeah. But what's bad
Saving
about
money.
it?
Saving
Gas is
money.
so yeah, but gas is so low now that like when I was driving it wasn't this low, but now it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think that this time out is necessary.
Hmm.
We needed this reboot. Even though some people might complain and be, you know what, we needed this time to slow down.
Slow down and recap what we lost. Yes, I totally agree.
Hmm. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, and we'll have some more upcoming videos. I'm sure they will want to hear more from you, especially that history.
Uh, I tell people like most people go to school for like be pre med or pre law or to do something worthwhile. I just have stuck with useless information in my head.
Well, that's good information, though. I mean,
Oh,
that's information that people need to know because I think it's a good thing to remember, things and events that has happened. Um, and even when we come to a situation where it's repeated, like you was like, no, this ain't new. I'm
yeah.
like, in my lifetime, I ain't never experienced this. But you've already done the research to know, no, this has been done before. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
this galaxy is what, millions of years old?
Yeah. So
So,
history often do repeat itself. It's how you learn from the history. Are you going to learn it to make the same mistakes? Or you can say, hey, this has worked in the past, we could do it, or create new ideas. You know, being both historian and a public administrator, you have to have a mix of two so you know what will work for the community. And especially for our nation that continuously evolves to something new, you have to know what options out there for you. And history what gives you that options.
mhm. Well, let them know. Tell them how they can contact you. If someone wants to contact you, maybe they want to have a speaking engagement with you. You never know.
Sure. The best way to contact me by email, email address is dhgreaves@yahoo.com. Basically, my initial and Graves or Greaves, American call it at yahoo.com.
And then, do you have a Facebook?
I do, but I don't even. But it's under Damion Greaves for
Okay, all
Facebook.
right. Well, then you can reach him at his email address. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. Look forward to more conversations.
Definitely have fun. Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You too.